Reborn with my husband. He first chose to give up on me, a person with cancer. It won't get better anyway. Just don't waste the money in the previous life. To save me, he used all his startup funds to pay for my medical treatment, but seeing others' lives so well, he started to regret it. I understand why he gave up on me. This time, I have decided not to give up on myself anymore. What I didn't expect was, my husband betrayed me first. Open your eyes again. I found that I had been reincarnated. The doctor told me seriously, my condition has become very serious. The treatment costs may exceed our expectations. The husband, Michael, beside her said without hesitation. Then don't treat it. It's not worth spending this money. The atmosphere in the ward suddenly turned cold. Seeing his cold expression, I just realized. He also seems to have been reborn. In the previous life, the doctor said the treatment costs a lot. Tears filled his eyes. Hold my hand tightly. I implore you to continue the treatment. Wife, if I lose you, having more money means nothing to me. At that time, we have a deep emotional bond. The eldest daughter, Emily, is in her senior year of high school. The youngest son, Lucas, has also entered the first year of high school. The children need me the most right now. We have worked hard to save up some startup capital, but Michael didn't hesitate to use all that money to pay for my medical treatment. Result, his career has also encountered significant difficulties as a result. After I recover, I quickly immersed myself in work. I hope to help him regain his motivation, but the good opportunities in the industry have already been missed. He encountered setbacks everywhere. The dissatisfaction in their hearts was all directed at me. I have always felt that I owe him something, silently endured. Never hold anything against him, until one time, he failed to win the bid again, drunk to the point of losing consciousness. Just got home, then they began to take action against me. The daughter desperately tried to stop it, also suffered quite a few injuries. He woke up, say nothing. He picked up the bag and left. When he returns again, there are 2 lipstick marks prominently printed on the shirt. That moment, I couldn't help but shed tears. I refused to accept it. He trembled as he reached into his pocket. When I saw the business card with his first love's contact information on it, the truth about everything has become clear. His first love, Sophia, she is now a wealthy woman. His behavior is very obvious. I suddenly became exceptionally calm after putting things back in their original place. I just realized that my hands were trembling. The man who once said he couldn't live without me, in the end, it still changed. I have decided to get a divorce. I don't want to continue enduring this kind of life. He glared at me in disgust. Say, the company is about to go public. Don't cause trouble at this time. I feel disappointed. Decide to move out. I can go back to get my luggage then. I unexpectedly saw him with Sophia. I could no longer contain the anger in my heart. Gave him a slap. As a result, she was caught by Sophia by her hair, pressed hard against the ground. I saw myself resisting. Sophia's attitude is more assertive. Michael stood firmly on her side without hesitation. He also picked up a knife from the kitchen, chopped towards me. In critical moments, I felt a sense of unwillingness in my heart. I have agreed to the divorce. Why do you have to treat me this way? If I could do it all over again, I will never allow myself to get into such a predicament. Thoughts gradually became clearer. I slowly began to speak. The tone is firm. This illness, I must get better, not only to treat. It is necessary to completely cure it, recalling the events of the previous life. In this life, I will definitely make Michael pay the price. Seeing my determination, Michael stood up impatiently, said sternly, find a way to solve your own problems. I will not spend a penny. Emily was startled by his sudden outburst of anger, quickly grabbed Michael's arm, begged, Dad, you can't say that about Mom. Quickly apologize to your mom. Michael angrily turned around and slapped Emily, glaring at her, you little brat. Dare to teach me a lesson. This money has fallen from the sky. You say flower, then it's a flower. I immediately became anxious, shouted, if you want to charge at me, go ahead. Don't touch my child. The doctors and nurses quickly approached. Separate Michael and Emily. Stop him from continuing to commit violence. Michael looked at me with a cold smile. Her eyes were filled with resentment. Isabella, have you been wanting to fall out with me for a long time? I take care of my daughter, you have to stop it. How can one still get through life like this? I tightly protected Emily. Calmly look at him. I understand what he really wants to say. Let's get a divorce. I don't want to be burdened by you anymore. He finally said. Emily cried as she hugged his leg. Her face was filled with fear and disbelief. Dad, how can you do this? You not want your mom anymore. Michael forcefully shook off Emily's hand. The attitude is extremely indifferent. Not only her, You insensitive child. I don't want it anymore. Just live with this burden your mother brings. I am incredibly angry. She picked up the fruit plate and threw it at him. You don't need to worry about Emily's matter. We won't have much of a relationship anymore. Leave quickly. Michael dodged quickly upon hearing my words. A trace of barely perceptible pride appeared in his eyes. That being said, you agreed to get a divorce. I nodded without hesitation. I have long wanted to stop getting entangled with him. He frowned slightly. Question. Then, who is the son following? I understand his thoughts. Lucas, the son, is going through a rebellious phase. The personality is also very stubborn. He wants to train Lucas to be his own. In the future, it will be easier to deal with me. Moreover, at this moment, Lucas is still not back from school. I want to take both my son and my daughter with me. You are not allowed to take away a single one from them, I said firmly. He listened, immediately panicked. You are this sick. I also want to take my son with me. Emily will be fine following you. I give you 2,000 yuan every month. It should be enough. 2,000 yuan isn't enough to cover the cost of a single re-examination. I shook my head. No, I want to take half of the inheritance. Otherwise, let's not discuss it. I didn't expect that he would agree immediately. Okay. As long as my son is with me, I will give you half of my assets. Anyway, in his heart, he had already felt that I would not live long. I held tightly onto Emily's hand, who was crying heavily. Gritting his teeth, he said, Good, I promise you. You go prepare the diploma agreement with this half of the inheritance. I might still have some chances. Only Emily has to endure hardships with me. Michael walked away without looking back. The face was filled with a triumphant smile. The nurses gathered around, wiping away Emily's tears, looking at me with sympathy. I have never seen someone so heartless. This is not a terminal illness. Just up and leave. I tiredly closed my eyes. A pang of pain in the heart. Emily, follow Mom. Will you blame me? I don't want to force her. Emily immediately kissed me, said firmly, Mom, as long as I can be with you, I am willing to go anywhere. I breathed a sigh of relief. Tears streamed down. It's just about Lucas. I really feel powerless right now. I just hope Michael can treat him well, but the facts have proven otherwise. I was too naive in my thoughts about Michael. During this time, Emily has been tirelessly taking care of me in the hospital. I saw her bending over to change my Roman 4, looking so busy. Tears welled up in my eyes uncontrollably. I was just about to suggest that she take a break. At this moment, there was a knock on the door of the ward. It turned out to be the divorce agreement sent by Michael. I checked it carefully, confirmed that there are no issues, just signed it above. Immediately afterwards, Michael's call came in. Isabella, you received the agreement. Right, hurry up and sign. Next month, we will go to apply for a divorce certificate. I hope you'll be able to hold on by then. On the other end of the phone, his tone was sarcastic. I listened. I feel very angry. So they retaliated with a remark. Thank you for your concern. Take care of yourself. Finished speaking. I hung up the phone. I couldn't help but feel regretful. How could I have been attracted to someone like this in the first place? I received 400,000. I first spent 80,000 on extending 2 months of medical treatment at the hospital. The remaining money needs to be handled carefully. Emily is currently in her senior year of high school. Studying is very intense. I can't let my issues affect her studies. Mom, I want to find a part-time job to make some money after Emily finished feeding me. Whisper, I can understand her concerns, so I comforted her by saying, Don't worry about money. Mom will take care of it. You just need to focus on your studies. She lowered her head. Silence. But I know she is worried about me, so I reached out my finger and said, Mom promises to work hard to make everything better. We make a pinky promise. She smiled. She reached out and hooked her finger around mine. Good, hook up. On the day of obtaining the divorce certificate, Michael appeared together with his first love, Sophia. They are holding hands. They are obviously showing off their feelings in front of me. Sophia said excitedly, Dear, we can finally be together openly and honestly. After saying that, she looked at me with a provocative gaze. Michael also responded, That's right. Baby, we will go to obtain our marriage license next month. Michael echoed. I couldn't care less about their performance. She took the divorce certificate and walked away. On the other side, Lucas came home after school. I don't know what Michael told him. You actually blocked all my contact information. I saw the glaring red exclamation mark on my phone. Emily's face turned red with anger. Mom usually busy taking care of us. I have given so much. Dad doesn't take care of anything. It's surprising that it's like this towards you now. Saying so, she just wanted to confront Lucas about it. I quickly grabbed her. Whisper, don't pay attention to what others say. Let's just live our own lives well. There are only 3 months until the college entrance examination. I must protect Emily well. Do not let her be affected in any way. The money was quickly spent. The family finances have become tight again. At that moment, Emily's homeroom teacher came for a home visit, brought some good news. Emily's academic performance in our grade is outstanding. There are difficulties at home now. We are all willing to lend a helping hand. Actually, teachers and classmates at school voluntarily donated money for me. In the end, I managed to gather a total of 80,000 yuan. As soon as this amount of money is handed over, my spirits suddenly lifted. Thank you, everyone. I will definitely repay this money, I said gratefully. The teacher said. Emily picked up a small notebook. I have noted down the names of each donor. He also mentioned that he would definitely repay it in the future. My heart feels especially warm. Couldn't help but give Emily a kiss. You are truly your mother's pride. Perhaps it is due to the absence of those bothersome issues. My condition is gradually improving. The doctors were all very surprised and said, my recovery speed is rarely seen among similar cases. On Michael's side, also began to prepare for starting a business. This day, Emily walked into the ward in tears. My heart suddenly became tense. What's wrong? Good boy. Who made you unhappy? Emily bit her lip, unwilling to speak. After repeatedly questioning, finally, she cried and revealed the truth about the situation. She really missed her dad. Secretly go find Michael. As a result, I saw him and Sophia hugging intimately on the street. I couldn't help but let out a cold snort in my heart. Michael is really in a hurry. In my past life, at least I worked hard for a while. Only after failing did he go to look for Sophia. Now it's good. She found him right after he was reborn. He has no idea that Sophia's husband is not easy to deal with. Wait until someone else discovers the matter. He will definitely regret it. After crying for a while, Emily, look at me firmly, say, Mom, I will always be with you, not like Dad. A wave of bittersweet emotions surged in my heart. Hold her tightly. Emily, Mom, you are my only one left. I still have 200,000 on hand. I thought I should leave at least 150,000 for Emily. When she goes to college, she must not feel embarrassed in front of her classmates. Fortunately, my condition is improving. You no longer have to spend a lot of money on hospital visits. I see myself becoming more and more energetic. I have decided to start writing again. This is not a casual way to pass the time, but rather my serious job. In the previous life, I have some fame in the online literature community, publish novels on major platforms. It is possible to earn a stable income of 7,000 to 8,000 every month, although the current writing level is somewhat worse than before, but enough to cover living expenses. Thinking about the past with Michael, my inspiration surged forth. I want to write a novel about what happened between us, then published online. Tell Emily. She immediately supported me. I was also specifically reminded to pay attention to privacy. Do not directly reveal Michael's real name. I replied with a smile. Start to create wholeheartedly. This novel was published. The response has been very positive. The platform provided several recommended spots. 2 weeks later, my work quickly made it onto the newcomer list. The day the manuscript fee was received, I took Emily to eat at Pizza Hut. She has always enjoyed eating the food there. Since I divorced Michael, she never mentioned it, watching her eat happily. Cheese on the lips. My heart feels warm. How has school been lately? The college entrance examination is approaching. I am a bit worried that something might affect her condition. Emily is eating pizza. Suddenly, my hand trembled. Almost dropped the pizza on the table when I looked up. The eyes are a bit red. I quickly handed her a tissue to wipe her tears. Ask her what happened, she said, sobbing. Lucas has ended his relationship with her. It means that I will no longer acknowledge her as my sister. Mom, Dad really doesn't want us anymore. He has a new girlfriend. Lucas said they are getting married soon. I am a bit surprised. I didn't expect Michael to remarry so soon. I really didn't expect him to be so sure. I believe Sophia can still help him despite not having a wealthy background. What surprised me even more was that Sophia actually took the initiative to come find me. She had a pretentious look on her face. I walked into the hospital room holding a bunch of health supplements that I couldn't eat. Said in a strange tone, "Long time no see. Isabella, I came specifically to see you. By the way, I have good news for you. The day after tomorrow, Michael and I will hold our wedding." Emily's eyes widened. Looking at her, he said, "What are you here for? We do not welcome you." However, Sophia didn't want to leave at all. Said with a smug expression, "I am here to remind you, don't bother Michael anymore. Even if you recover your health in his eyes, you are just an insignificant person. I asked with a cold laugh. Who said I would pursue him? To be honest, in some respects, they are actually quite suitable for each other. Sophia was cornered by me. A hint of awkwardness appeared on his face, but she still insisted stubbornly. Michael has achieved some success in his entrepreneurial endeavors. So many women outside are paying attention to him. I always have to be cautious, I said with some impatience. Then you go find the people who care about him. I have never contacted him. There's no point in you saying these things to me here. Done speaking. I don't feel like looking at her anymore. Closed his eyes. Sophia feels bored, mumbled a few unflattering words, just turned around and left. Emily slammed the door shut angrily. Sit on the edge of the bed. Such a tacky woman. How can one compare to a mother? I really don't understand what they are thinking. Seeing her like that, I couldn't help but laugh. Gently stroked her face. I advised her, all right, don't be angry about this kind of life. Being angry will only be bad for yourself. I had thought that life would gradually settle down. I didn't expect Lucas to be so inconsiderate. Perhaps the fact that Michael and Sophia are getting married again soon has influenced him. Now at school, he actually took the lead in excluding Emily. Emily only cares about me. I don't want to argue with them. As a result, they became even more extreme. The situation with Lucas is so serious that Emily is too scared to go to school. This day, Emily's homeroom teacher called me. Sounds urgent, say. Isabella, Emily is missing. I immediately became tense. Question. What, isn't she at school? The homeroom teacher said helplessly. We are not sure either. She didn't come to class today. Unable to reach by phone. People cannot be found. The homeroom teacher sounds quite anxious because Emily is the best student in our class. What if something happened to her before the college entrance examination? The outcome will be poor. I'll be there right away. I hung up the phone. Immediately dialed Michael's number. I feel this matter is related to him. When I told him about Emily's situation, he sounded very impatient on the other end of the phone. If she's gone, just go look for her. What's the use of talking to me? She is your daughter. How can you be so indifferent? I couldn't help but raise my voice. The corners of the eyes are already moist. I am busy. There's no time to deal with such trivial matters. Michael finished speaking. He hung up the phone without any hesitation. His indifferent attitude, just like last time, I was so angry that my heart trembled. But out of desperation, I had no choice but to call the police. Then, although feeling unwell, but I still hurried back to school from the hospital. The police understood the situation, immediately begin the search. Emily, where are you? Mom is really worried about you. I keep thinking to myself, time is slowly passing by. It feels like every second is particularly long. Finally, the police have delivered good news, found Emily. She is near an abandoned warehouse. We have sent someone to pick her up. I breathed a sigh of relief. The stone that had been weighing on my heart has finally dropped. I immediately rushed to the warehouse. I kept praying in my heart for Emily to be safe and sound. When I arrived at the warehouse, I saw Emily sitting in the corner, eyes filled with confusion, holding a crumpled piece of paper. I hurried over. Hold her tightly. Emily, you scared Mom. Emily looked up, eyes filled with tears. Mom, I'm sorry. I interrupted her. Hold her tightly. It's okay now. It's all right now. Let's go home. On the way home, I asked Emily what had happened. She said through tears, Lucas is excluding her at school, asked her for money several times. It made her feel very upset. She didn't want to lose her temper with her brother. In addition, I have to take care of myself every day, so tired. That's why I went there to hide. I am very angry. How could Lucas do something like this? But the children were all raised by me personally. I have a good understanding of their personalities. So, I decided to have a good talk with Michael. After returning to the hospital, I dialed Michael's phone number again. Michael, what did you actually say to Lucas? Let him continue to bully Emily. You as a father, how can one educate children like this? I strive to suppress my anger, try to keep a calm tone. What difference does it make? I am very busy. I don't have time to deal with these matters. Emily is also your daughter, even if you don't care about her. She also cannot let Lucas hurt her. I strive to calm myself down. Lucas has grown up. I can't manage that. If you think I am doing something wrong, just handle it yourself. Michael remained completely unconcerned. After saying that, he hung up the phone. He has also blocked me. I was so angry that my whole body shook. He turned around and took Emily to school. In any case, I need to clarify things with Lucas today. When the teacher took Lucas to the office, he still looked quite indifferent. See me, he even curled his lips. seemed somewhat disdainful. The child who once constantly shared school anecdotes with me and always stuck by my side. Now the way they look at me has completely changed. It's like watching a stranger. I felt a twinge of discomfort in my heart. This is the son I have worked so hard to raise. We just separated not long ago. He actually turned into this. I stepped forward, gave him a slap, spoke angrily. Lucas, quickly apologize to your sister. Lucas was beaten, covering the face, eyes filled with grievance and anger, shouting at me. What right do you have to hit me? You are no longer my mom. Don't mind me. I stared at him firmly. Lucas, anyway, I will always be your mother. This will not change. I slightly slowed down my tone. Continue speaking. It was your father who left us first. It was all for Sophia that he gave up this home. Lucas's gaze flickered momentarily, but soon became indifferent. Impossible, Dad said. It is you who wants to leave. It turns out Michael has been tarnishing my reputation behind my back. He pretended to be a victim, just to gain the child's sympathy. I said calmly, but you can't hurt Emily because of him. She is your sister. You should take care of each other. Lucas didn't say anything. It seems to be contemplating my words. I quickly continued speaking. Lucas, Mom knows that you are not a bad child. If you don't believe, you can go to the hospital to check on my condition, just to know whether I lied to you. Lucas wants to say something, but then it stopped. The eyes turned red. Finally, he lowered his head and said softly, I'm sorry, Mom. Hearing him call me Mom, I felt warm in my heart. I know that our relationship has changed. I will apologize to my sister. I won't bully her anymore. After speaking, he turned around and ran out of the office. I watched his silhouette, feeling a bit complicated. Lucas is also very important to me. How can one not feel heartbroken? It's all Michael. Make this home so messy. I took a deep breath, turn and hug Emily. He shouldn't bully you anymore in the future. If there are any questions, immediately inform the homeroom teacher. Let him contact your mom. Emily nodded vigorously. Okay, Mom, you should go back to the hospital and rest. Upon hearing this, I just breathed a sigh of relief, immediately took a taxi back to the hospital. I was pleasantly surprised. I find that I can walk for longer periods of time now. That conversation was really effective until the college entrance examination. Emily never encountered trouble again. On the contrary, Lucas would also help her deal with those who wanted to bully her after the college entrance examination. I specially bought a bouquet of flowers to pick up Emily. She ran towards me with a relaxed expression on her face. Mom, I have finally finished my exam. In the future, I can spend time with you properly. You need to remember your promise, always staying by my side. I handed her the flower with a smile. Mom doesn't need your care, because Mom will be discharged from the hospital soon. Emily jumped up with excitement. Really? I nodded with a smile. I am very happy to hear this news. The doctor said I am recovering very quickly. You will be discharged in a couple of days. Just keep taking your medication on time. It will be completely fine. Much faster than before. Let's go. Mom is taking you out for a nice meal. I just finished speaking. Emily is a bit worried. Mom, do we have enough money? I couldn't help but laugh, gently pinched her face. Mom writes novels. Now I can earn nearly $20,000 a month. It's no problem to treat you to a meal. Thanks to Michael. It has given me a lot of inspiration for writing. I also have some savings. Emily can also live comfortably after going to college. Emily listened, smiled happily. Mom is truly amazing. 3 days later, I was discharged from the hospital smoothly. Then they moved into the newly rented house. Although the room is not big, but it is well maintained. Sunlight streamed in through the window, warm and sunny. As soon as Emily walked in, she fell in love with the place. Mom, you are really amazing. How to find such a warm house. She happily ran to my side, gave me a tight hug, of course. Mom will definitely make our lives better and better. I held her tightly. The heart is filled with beautiful looking for the future. This life, I am determined to provide my child with a stable and happy life. 20 days have passed in the blink of an eye. The college entrance examination results have been released. Emily won first place in the entire city. The news caused a sensation in the community. It wasn't light yet. Noisy sounds came from downstairs. There are sounds of beating gongs and drums. Mom, I succeeded. Emily's face was flushed with excitement, fingers trembling, pointing at the score-checking page on the computer screen. I came in first. I was moved to tears. Immediately hold her in your arms. Tears could not stop flowing down. Baby, you are really amazing. Truly a pride of Mom. Mom, take a look. Admissions officers from Harvard and Stanford have arrived. Emily shouted out the window. I followed her finger to see where it pointed. The admission officers from 2 prestigious schools have already arrived downstairs. It was obviously a deliberate visit. Emily, you go prepare first. I will go down to greet the teacher now. I quickly wiped away my tears, took a deep breath, adjust your mood, prepare to welcome the teacher, just walk downstairs. 2 teachers walked up to me enthusiastically. Hello, Isabella. We are teachers from the admissions offices of Harvard University and Stanford University. Hello, welcome, welcome. Please come in, I said with a smile. We are here to congratulate you and Emily, the Harvard teacher said with a wide smile. Emily's academic performance is excellent. We sincerely hope that she will choose Harvard. That's right. We at Stanford are very sincere as well, willing to provide Emily with a full scholarship. The Stanford teacher added. Listening to the teacher's introduction, I am filled with pride and joy. Emily's years of hard work have finally been recognized. She proved herself with her strength. Now is her moment to shine. I will have a good discussion with Emily, then I will get back to you, I said politely. Thank you very much for your school's attention. The teachers all nodded. Then they exchanged some opinions seriously, left after leaving contact information. Mom, which school should I choose? Emily looked at me. The face was filled with confusion. Baby, this is an important choice that concerns your future. Mom will fully support you, I answered gently. No matter which one you choose, Mom will always be proud of you. Emily thought for a moment, then said firmly, I want to go to Stanford. There is a major that I like. Okay, then go to Stanford. I smiled and nodded. Mom will always support you. As an outstanding student in the city, Emily was invited to return to her alma mater, an elite high school. Share your learning experiences with all the teachers, students, and parents of the school. I didn't expect that. Michael was also there. Emily spoke. I sincerely appreciate my efforts. Michael suddenly shouted loudly from the audience, Emily, I am your dad. Instant. Everyone's eyes were focused on him. Start a quiet discussion. This is the father of the top student. Go quickly and ask him for a contact number. Ask him for advice. I suddenly understood. Michael wants to use his daughter's fame for his own benefit. Emily spotted Michael in the audience at a glance. Without hesitation, I would say, he is not my dad. When Mom is sick, you ruthlessly abandoned us. What are you doing here? Aren't you already married to your new wife? Why do you still have to interfere with my and my mother's life? Emily spoke very bluntly, without mercy. Michael's expression instantly turned unpleasant. His face turned red with anger, pointing at Emily and shouting loudly, You little rascal, how can you speak to me like this? This is really outrageous. Before Emily could react, the principal quickly asked the security to take Michael out. Where did the troublemaker come from? Take them away quickly. If you don't leave, we're going to call the police. I only understood later. Michael is so shameless. It turns out that his company is on the verge of collapse. The cash flow is about to break. He is looking for new investors everywhere, but all encountered failure until Emily became the top student in the city. The news spread throughout the entire city. He seemed to have found hope. He naively thought, relying on Emily's fame can easily attract investors, thus saving the company. However, during the speech, Emily without hesitation exposed him, make him feel very embarrassed in front of everyone. More dramatically, this scene was filmed and uploaded to the internet. So, Michael became an internet celebrity overnight. It's just the kind of internet celebrity that everyone laughs at. In the video, his awkward appearance, being forcibly dragged out of the school by security, attracted countless online viewers and mockery. Not long after, curious internet users began to investigate. I found that my novel was inspired by our story. This man is really unreliable. A netizen excitedly left a comment in the comment section. He actually abandoned his sick wife and child, now still wanting to rely on the daughter to get through life. It's really shameless. That's right. A company run by such a person is unlikely to be good. Another netizen agreed. As the discussion deepened, netizens began to conduct their own investigation into Michael's company. Upon investigation, it was discovered the situation is truly surprising. This company has not only numerous financial issues, there is also chaos in internal management. The reputation is so poor that it is disappointing. Michael's company suddenly became notorious. The already poor image has completely crashed. I already knew this company was unreliable. Fortunately, I withdrew my investment earlier. Otherwise, it will be in vain. An anonymous investor mentioned this at a business forum. Who would still dare to invest in such a company? That is just asking for trouble. Another investor made a comment, expressed dissatisfaction. Under everyone's pressure, Michael's company ultimately couldn't make it. The funding chain has completely collapsed. In the end, the last few reluctantly supportive investors also chose to withdraw their investments. The company announced its bankruptcy. Desperate, Michael actually came to me to ask for a remarriage. I smiled coldly. What about Sophia? How do you plan to deal with her? Michael hurriedly explained. She is just a scheming woman. Originally, it was you who took the initiative to approach me. As long as you are willing to be with me, I will break up with her immediately. But he didn't notice. Sophia is right behind. The eyes turned red, rushed over in anger. They immediately started fighting. Blame each other, you liar. Clearly, it was you who clung to me first. Sophia shouted loudly. Her face was full of reluctance. Can you please not speak for now, if it weren't for you? I won't become like this either. Michael said angrily. I stood aside, looking at all of this. I think this argument is really pointless. Stop arguing. Everyone, I said lightly, glanced at the two people. Your business, take care of it yourself. Michael and Sophia were both stunned. I didn't expect to be so calm. Then, they began to blame each other again, continue arguing. I have sacrificed so much for you. How could you do this to me? Sophia said aggrievedly. What exactly have you contributed? They just want my money. Michael angrily retorted. I shook my head, preparing to leave. I don't want to get involved in their matters. Indeed, Michael is a very selfish person. No matter who he chooses, the outcome will not be good, because he only considers his own interests. I don't want to be involved in their arguments anymore. I don't want these troubles to affect my life. Didn't expect that. Sophia suddenly got angry. Take out a fruit knife. He lunged sharply at Michael. She stabbed repeatedly several times. Michael had no time to react at all, just fell down, immediately lost all breath. After that, Sophia is sitting on the ground. Madly stab at oneself with a knife. I have given up everything for you. You come to blame me instead. Then let's end it together. I realized that something was wrong. Quickly call the police. But it was all too late. When the ambulance arrived, both of them were seriously injured, could not be saved. After attending Michael's funeral, I brought Lucas back home and legally inherited part of his estate. Emily and Lucas have also reconciled, cleared up the previous misunderstanding. Watching them happily play in the living room, Lucas is struggling with his homework. Emily gently tapped his head. I sit in my study, writing peacefully, felt warm inside. From that day on, only happiness and tranquility remain.